This video is going to cover how to make a paper assignment for your students. In other words, they'll get an MLA template, and each student will have their own copy of it in their own designated Google Drive so that they can work on it. And as a teacher, you can see it in real time, their progress as they work. So this is a valuable tool using Google Classroom. So in Google Classroom, what we're going to do is we have a classroom, and we're going to put an assignment in here. Okay, but first of all, we're going to go here and kind of give ourselves a little bit of a shortcut. We're going to go to our Google Drive. Remember, you'll go to the google.com, and then you'll finally go to your 9-dot menu, and then from here you'll go to your Google Drive. Remember, the best practices on your Google Drive is you color code, you number your folders so that you can get to information a little quicker. Okay. So let's say I have a folder and I have content, and I have Google content in here. And inside of here, I want to put a folder in here. Remember, it's new folder, right? And then I could call this documents. Okay. So I have a folder. It's right there. And I'm going to double click in here. Now check us out. When I go to new, and this time I'm going to go to Google Docs. I'm not clicking on Google Docs. I'm going to go to the flyout menu and go to from a template. Now, from a template, it's going to give me popular templates, very much like Word used to do and still does, but it'll give you the templates. Now, be aware, if you're in a school account right now, there are two tabs. One's going to be customized to your school system, and there may be very few, if any, templates in here. So you'd go over to the right and go to the general ones, which would be these, and then they would show. So if you're in a school account, if this doesn't show, it's because you have two tabs up here, and you have to click on the second tab. But notice it has MLA and APA style, right? So I'm going to go into the MLA style and open it up. So this is awesome. What it's going to do is it's going to let every student have their own version, and it's named report right now, but we're going to go in here and rename this student template, okay? Now notice that here, I'm going to show you that it has all the placeholders where if you double click, right, or triple click, it's going to do each of the lines so that you can start typing. So they have Latin words as a placeholders in here. But now it's much easier to get in here and start working on the paper. And it even has a works cited page as well. So this is nice, right? So I have this saved. And it's in my Google Drive, right? So let's close this. And you see that it's in my drive. I went all the way down to number 10, and it's in my Google content, right? Went to documents, and there it is. Okay, I'm going to close that. Okay? So now I am in where I've got a class. We built this earlier, and we're going to go into where we're going to assign students work. So we go to classwork, and we're going to create an assignment. And then from assignment, you would name it here. So this would be the end of the first 9 weeks. First 9 weeks, right? Final paper. And in here, this is where you can add instructions. Paper due on October 25. All note cards and rough draft submitted as well. Okay, so we have information. You need to put in a title, and you need to put in some instructions. It says optional, but I would rather do that. Now the point total, if you're going to leave this ungraded, that would mean that you're going to probably print these and then grade them. That would be the reason why this would be an ungraded assignment, okay? But for the most part, I would make it where, and I've seen educators do this, they'll make it a 1-point grade. I know that sounds weird. Either they've submitted it or they didn't. They get 1 point or they don't. But the real grade's going to come from you actually looking in there and doing it, not having this in the grade book area. Some people kind of would rather do it this way and grade them individually and then put them in the grade book that way. So you'll have 1 point. You have a due date, and this is important. On the due date, you want to put a time in there that makes sense to you. So there is a due date of let's see, that was the 25th. And then be aware, let me make it a little smaller. There we go. Be aware that right there is a time. I'm trying to get around a little action button of mine here. Let's make it a little smaller. There we go, time. And I could make it 3 p.m. at the end of the day. All right. Now don't assign it yet, because now we need to go add that paper from Google Drive that we made at the beginning. So we're going to go to Google Drive. And the most recent thing I did is going to pop open first. And there it is, my student template. You see that? I'll do it again. So I clicked on Google Drive. I went to most recent. I click on it. And look, it dropped it in there. Now, a student can view the file, but we don't want that. We want more, do we not? We want it where it's going to be. Every student gets a copy. That means that this document will have their name on it, right? And then it will say student template. And each one of them will have it automatically saved in their Google Drive in a folder called Classroom, and it'll be within there. All right. So now the topic area, this is where you would create a topic. And like if I want to put this under all my research papers, I could. If you wanted to make a new one here, you could call this first 9 weeks, however you would like to do that. But when you hit assign, that means every person will now get their own individual copy. It will show up in 2 places. It'll show up in your stream and in your classwork. See? If I open it, it'll show you that I just assigned this to 8 people. And 0 people have turned it in. But if I click on that 8, it'll show me a thumbnail of every single person's paper at one time. And if I wanted to see how Jenna's been doing on her paper, I can double click in it, and it will allow me to see her in real time, how she's working on her paper, what she's doing, and I can provide her feedback. I could add comments saying good work, or you need to do more, or you need more research, you need to get a few more citations, you need a better title, the intro is, needs work. These are some things that you can add. So that is an outstanding component to this segment here, where you're allowed to take this and be able to see everybody's paper in real time. So that's how you assign a paper for students to complete in Google Classroom.